Growing up, I remember spending weekends at my grandparents' house. We would always go there and bake, and we'd have bologna and cheese sandwiches, and a lot of who I am and the way that I act, I think, comes from her.
As a grandma, I like to say that I can see myself in all of the grandkids. I truly can. And Erin has always been real special.
I grew up with a really big family. My mom is 12 out of 13 kids, so that tended to have a lot of big family gatherings.
We are really close. I pushed her quite a bit as she was growing up, but we have found a nice common ground and just have such a special relationship. My niece, who was only 33, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and really that was the trigger for us, and that's where we found that we have a mutation in one of our genes. In total, I have 4 sisters and a niece and my mom that all had cancer, and my husband's sister and his mom also had breast cancer. So it has really affected my family greatly.
I would say probably 2 things hit me the hardest. We lost one of my aunts to breast cancer, and I think that one was a really big eye-opener that she wasn't the only one affected in our family, and it could take a life.
I went in for regular mammograms from the time I was 40, and when I went in this time in 12 years ago, this summer, they did a biopsy, and that's when I got the call that we found cancer in that biopsy.
It was August 6th of 2008 that we found out that my grandma had breast cancer. And I remember coming downstairs and my aunt was sitting in the kitchen and she was crying. And we were like, what the heck is going on? And she told us, she's like, Grandma Katie has breast cancer. I just remember her being like, hey, we're not gonna mourn about this. We're not gonna be sad. We're all gonna be in it together. I'm gonna fight this and it's gonna be fine.
So we fought it hard. We did surgery, and then they did chemo, and it was kind of a tough go through the chemo.
We unfortunately did lose one of my sisters to breast cancer. All of my other sisters, though, have successfully treated, and they're survivors. My maiden name is Weller, and we've coined the term Weller Warrior Woman, and they all are just warriors.
I didn't cry during any of the treatments or through all those things that you go through that are kind of dark. But when I reached the completion, I did. It was like such a relief.
So this August will be 12 years cancer-free.
It's just so important that, especially if it does run in your family, early screening to try to early detection is so important.
It's the difference between being diagnosed at a stage 1, which is very treatable, and a stage 4.
Don't take it lightly or be nonchalant about those mammograms.
That was a very hard thing, and if she can get through that, it kind of makes everything else seem like a piece of cake.
You realize that a lot of things that you're worried about and were angry about or upset about are not important.
This disease has solidified my family and just really shown how much we love each other, how strong we can be, and how fully we support each other.
I think one thing that I've realized is how much a family can come together and support each other through this, just showing how strong you can be as a family.